This is the MTN Noon News.
Noon, I'm Jill Valley. New on this noon hour, Governor Steve Bullock has issued an executive order declaring a state of fire emergency due to extremely hazardous wildland fire conditions throughout Montana. Several factors, including above average temperatures, unpredictable winds, and low humidity, have resulted in extreme fire conditions in our state. On Wednesday, 17 new fires burned more than 100,000 acres in Montana. And with the hot and dry conditions predicted to continue through the middle of September, and under current conditions, new wildland fire starts are likely throughout the state. So this declaration allows the governor to mobilize additional state resources and the Montana National Guard to combat the fires and spend the money needed to get the job done. So let's take a look at the fires currently burning in Montana right now. We have the human-caused Huff Fire outside Jordan that burned about 50,000 acres. It is expected to have a significant impact on agriculture and livestock in the area. South of Roundup, the human-caused Bobcat Fire burned about 8,000 acres. It destroyed several homes and prompted the evacuation of the Signal Peak Energy's Bull Mountain mine. And two fires that started outside Ashland in Rosebud County burned a combined 43,000 acres. The cause of those fires under investigation. There's also the Rams Peck Fire south of White Sulphur Springs. It destroyed two primary structures, several outbuildings, and resulted in significant power line damage. All right, we do have hot temperatures across Montana in the forecast today as we head into a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend, of course. Here is Aaron Yost joining us now at the Storm Tracker Weather Center with more on that. Aaron.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, as we head into this upcoming holiday weekend, a lot of folks, I'm sure, myself included, have some plans to go camping. You're going to want to be very safe, especially on Saturday, where we are going to see very critical fire danger kind of conditions. We've got red flag warnings across the majority of the state for the day on Saturday for these hot, windy, and dry conditions. A lot of folks going to be pushing record highs here come Saturday across the Treasure State. Now, we're going to go from near record highs this weekend to near record lows Monday and Tuesday as an extremely strong cold front moves south out of Canada. So here's a look at our future track as far as temperatures are concerned. Sunday at noon, notice as we move into the future, we see that very cold air mass moving into the region. That is going to drop our temperatures significantly, folks. By Tuesday morning, many areas seeing their first frost and freeze of the season. I've got more coming up.
All right, thank you, Aaron. We'll definitely be feeling that one. COVID-19 related deaths are now reported in Flathead and Yellowstone counties on this Friday. Montana has now passed the 8,000 COVID-19 case mark. Yellowstone County continues to lead the state with the most active cases. They have now surpassed 1,000 active cases as of today. Deer Lodge County leads the state today with the most new positive cases at 24, followed by Rosebud with 12 new positive cases. There are currently 150 people in the hospital for COVID-19 in Montana and a total of almost 260,000 tests that have been completed. To date, though, almost 6,000 Montana residents have recovered from COVID-19. The superintendent of Columbia Falls Schools confirms an individual associated with the district has tested positive for COVID. In a letter to parents, Superintendent Dave Wick writes, the school district was notified Thursday of this confirmed case, and he states the Flathead City County Health Department determined staff and students were in contact with this person during the period of possible exposure, but that individual had not been at the school since August 31st, and identified close contacts are in the process of being notified by the health department. Wick says that as of this time, Columbia Falls High School is still operating and there are no additional restrictions in place. Earlier this week, Sentinel High School in Missoula reported its first COVID-19 positive case. Families in Great Falls are having new conversations about student safety after two children left Whittier Elementary School with a non-custodial parent on Monday. District officials say one job in particular plays a big part in keeping those students safe. The crossing guards. They don't just help students cross the street safely, they also watch for suspicious activity. But limited hours and low pay make it tough to find crossing guards, even when we're not in the middle of a pandemic. This year, the coronavirus has left Great Falls Public Schools more understaffed than usual. They're short about 5 crossing guards right now, and without them, principals and teachers have to take turns manning the crosswalks. Hoping to attract more applicants, the Great Falls Board of Trustees raised the pay to $13 an hour last month for crossing guards. Although Gary Schoenthal, who's a guard at Lincoln Elementary, says the job is more than the money.
You see the kids grow up so much, and this has been 6 months. It's a long time. We don't do this for the money. We do this because we love the kids.
Again, even if your child's school doesn't have a crossing guard, principals and teachers will be there to make sure everybody gets across the street safely. Bear activity in the Flathead Valley is causing wildlife officials to warn people about the need to stay bear aware these days. MTN's Marin Sue tells us how we can all keep our homes and ourselves safe from bears, especially if you're out recreating on this holiday weekend.
Wildlife experts warn residents and visitors to the state of Montana about bears. Whether you're recreating outside in Glacier National Park or at home, you need to take appropriate safety precautions to keep yourself safe.
This time of year, bears are trying to eat as many calories as they possibly can before they go winter hibernation, and they can smell food from over a mile away.
Going into Labor Day weekend, Dylan Tabish with Fish, Wildlife and Park says residents need to hide all bear attractants.
Keep garbage inside until the day of pickup. If you have domestic fruit trees, this time of year, domestic fruit trees are a really big attractant for bears.
Jenna Kurtzman with Glacier National Park says if you're in the park, visitors need to be prepared for a bear encounter.
All of our popular locations such as Hidden Lake, Avalanche Lake, Pagan Pass, Otokomi Trail, all of the real popular ones are currently posted for bear frequenting.
Both Tabish and Kurtzman say bring bear spray and make sure it's easily accessible. If you encounter a bear, do the opposite of what you're seeing in this video. Do not run. Slowly back away and make noise to alert the bear of your presence. In the worst case scenario, Kurtzman says what you should do if you're approached by a bear.
Lay down on the ground on your stomach with your hand over the back of your neck. If the bear tries to flip you over, continue rolling and keep your stomach on the ground as much as possible to protect your organs.
Kurtzman says if you come across wildlife or a carcass on a trail, you're to report that to a park ranger. In Columbia Falls, Marin Sue, MTN News.
Tabish also recommends people look for fruit gleaning groups to share extra fruit that may attract those bears. Just ahead here on the Noon News, Aaron Yost is next with a look at your statewide holiday forecast with some big cool downs coming up for us. And next, we'll catch up with a Fairfield teenager who just got back from a Salt Lake City hospital after she was diagnosed with the state's first case of multi-system inflammatory syndrome related to COVID.
The next 24 hours. We will start to see some wind on the increase tomorrow, but sunshine across the board expected here as we move into the holiday weekend. As we end it, though, things are going to change in a very big way. We've got quite a cool down ahead of us here come Sunday night into Monday morning. Quick look outside. This is just a short while ago from our iCams. You've got Billings there top left next to Polson, Butte, and Helena. Again, a lot of sunshine across the Treasure State and temperatures responding nicely to all that sunshine. We're in the 70s, already low 80s there for folks in Livingston at 81 degrees. We've got 72 in Missoula, 78 at the Capitol. Billings, we're checking in with 75 degrees. Dillon at 73. We're going to see those highs today well into the 80s, even some 90s in the mix. And we're going to push record highs come tomorrow. So here's a look, our future track, the next 24 hours out. And what you're going to see happen here, as I'd mentioned just a minute ago, not a whole lot. We've got a lot of sunshine expected as we head into your Saturday. Temperature is going to be very warm. However, by Saturday afternoon, we will see mainly dry cold front approach the region, and that's what's going to give us that critical fire danger as we head into your Saturday. Overnight tonight, though, our lows generally in the low to mid 50s. We will see those mainly clear skies heading into the day tomorrow. Hot, well above average for this time of year. A lot of us even pushing record highs. To put this into perspective, Missoula, we should be at about 79 degrees. Great Falls, the average high 76. Billings, our typical average high around 80. We're going to be about 20 degrees above that tomorrow. So with the heat, we're going to see the dry conditions and then the wind. So this is as we head into the day on Saturday. We're going to freeze it here Sunday, right there at midnight, right before Sunday morning. And we see that cold front already pushing through. Again, not going to see the moisture with that. We've got the dry cold front expected, so the wind is going to be the biggest concern. We do have red flag warnings out there in that hot pink for the extremely low humidity values. We're talking 10 to 20% at most with gusty winds. It's just going to be a very problematic day for any new fire starts and any existing active fires. We could see some runs as we move into the day on Saturday. Be safe out there. The 5-day forecast, we are looking at a great start to the weekend, as I'd mentioned, but watch watch what happens by Monday. We've got that Canadian cold front that's going to be dropping southward right into the Treasure State, bringing with it a huge decrease in temperature. So pushing record highs here on Saturday across the Treasure State to record lows perhaps on Monday and Tuesday. That's Montana in a nutshell, especially for either Memorial or Labor Day, if you ask me. With that, we are going to see a little bit of mountain snow. We're talking generally above 5,500 feet. We could see a couple of inches. That's definitely in the realm of possibilities. We're also going to see some gusty conditions on Monday as well. So if you have plans to be outdoors this upcoming holiday weekend, myself included, we might have to pack it in a little bit earlier on Monday just because the weather not going to cooperate all that much with us. But Saturday and Sunday looking pretty good. Look at a couple of other places, Billings and Glendive, not much of a change there, except for Billings, Saturday to Monday. Yeah, that's a pretty huge temperature drop.
Yeah, 50 degrees. Love Montana. All right, 2 weeks ago, MTN News shared the story of a Teton County teenager fighting for her life from COVID-19 complications. She has since been discharged from the hospital, and now she's home and she's healing. MTN's Tom Wiley reports now from Fairfield.
It's Kiana Yeager's first day as manager for the Fairfield football team, and she couldn't be happier.
It actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I'm still very happy. I'm not tired, and it's just fun.
If you spotted her on the sideline, you just assume she's another healthy teenager, and that is a small miracle.
Been getting better every day. All the bruises have been healing, all the wounds, and I'm getting back on my feet and trying to return to normal.
Less than 2 weeks ago, Kiana was in the ICU at Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake. She was fighting multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, a rare complication from a COVID-19 infection, and the first such confirmed case in Montana.
Why me? What did that for me? Why did my organs want to go into overdrive, kind of a thing?
Her heart, liver, kidneys, lungs, and other organs were swollen and started to shut down. Her condition went from bad to worse.
Hardest part with this is my parents didn't know if I'd come home for 4 days. I didn't know if I'd see anybody again. And that's what broke me. That's what scared me.
But while Kiana was fighting, her community was organizing, starting a food drive that attracted donations from all over the world and an untold amount of prayers.
There was so many people that wanted me to come back from this, and I do believe that it's part of them that I am back.
Just days after struggling for her life, Kiana's condition improved. She was moved out of the ICU and eventually discharged to come home.
Thank you for all your prayers and all the support. I will see you guys hopefully really soon.
That means Kiana was able to get back on the sidelines, and the Eagles welcomed her with open arms.
1, 2, 3, Eagles! It's awesome. She was actually one of the first people I met in Fairfield, and exceptional young lady, and she's been very, very important to our football program, and we're so glad to have her back.
Her journey back to health is far from over. Kiana's organs were severely damaged during her illness, but she's accepted that and is taking her recovery in stride.
That moment, I felt that I was okay, I'm better. And now I'm realizing I'm not totally better. I'm getting there.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
What a brave young woman. Nationwide, there have only been about 700 confirmed cases of multi-system inflammatory syndrome associated with COVID-19. The CDC is still studying the disease outcome and the risk factors. Well, just ahead, Russell Nimitz with your Montana Ag Reports. We'll be back.
Ranch Report from the Montana Ag Network.
Hi everybody, it's time for your Farm and Ranch News. Well, it looks like our region is gaining a little bit more meat processing capacity. That's because Intermountain Packing has announced plans to build a brand new packing facility in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Now they say the $20 million facility will occupy 9 acres and is scheduled to be in operation in the fall of 2021. Construction on the 50,000 square foot facility will begin this fall, and the plant, they say, will have capacity to process 500 head of cattle and bison per day and will also employ 200 workers. Now, Intermountain Packing is an offshoot of Intermountain Bison, a vertically integrated bison operation with ranches in both Idaho and South Dakota. Now, the Intermountain Packing announcement is the second packing facility announcement in Idaho this summer. Of course, as we've reported, in late July, Agra Beef out of Boise announced its plans to open a packing plant in Jerome, Idaho that will also process 500 head of cattle per day. In some other news, USDA's Economic Research Service recently released its latest forecast of farm sector income and wealth here in 2020. Carrie Likowski is the senior economist and farm income team leader with the USDA's ERS. And she says despite the many challenges facing agriculture this year, net farm income is still expected to increase.
Net farm income is forecast to increase almost 23% in 2020. This increase is despite lower cash receipts from commodity sales in 2020. We're forecasting cash receipts to fall 3.3% or $12 billion.
Now, net cash farm income, they say, is forecast at $115.2 billion, up 4.5% over last year in nominal dollars. Despite lower commodity prices, she says lower production expenses as well as government payments will help boost farm and ranch income this year. Well, stay with us. We'll have more ag news right after this. Well, the Montana Stock Growers Association is proud to announce its newest team member, Rayleigh Honeycutt. Last month, she took over the position of Director of Natural Resources for MSGA, as well as the executive staff for the Montana Public Lands Council and Montana Association of State Grazing Districts. In these roles, she'll focus on building resource policy on a local, state, and national level, as well as provide a strong presence on agricultural issues at the Montana legislature. And if you're interested, you can contact Rayleigh at rayleigh@mtbeef.org. And finally today, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to take its toll on agriculture production across the country, Montana Senator Jon Tester and a bipartisan group of his colleagues are urging the USDA to provide additional support for wheat farmers facing major losses. In a recent letter to Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue, Senator Tester outlined the need to expand eligibility for assistance through the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program to include COVID-19 losses for all classes of wheat. Now keep in mind you can still apply for CFAP funding through September 11th, and you can do so either at your local FSA office or online at farmers.gov/CFAP. Well, that's a look at your farm and ranch news. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, Russell. Montana is going to launch a new program to help businesses with economic recovery in this pandemic. At a news conference this week, Governor Steve Bullock announced the Montana Working Capital Program that builds off the Montana Loan Deferment Program. It allows Montana businesses to take out a new loan of up to $500,000 with 35% of it granted through coronavirus relief funds. The governor underscored the program's ability to address some of the biggest and most crucial expenses of a business.
The Montana Working Capital Program will allow Montana businesses to take out a new loan to be used for payroll, employee benefits, lease or rent, inventory, utilities, and insurance.
The program opens up for applications Tuesday, September 8th, and will be run by the Board of Investments in partnership with Montana banks and credit unions. All right, I don't know if I would want to try to pack for a camping trip when you've got 150-degree weather.
A little bit of everything this weekend, 90s and maybe even 100 for us tomorrow, but dropping into the 50s and 60s Labor Day.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for joining us here on the Noon News. Make sure to join us on the MTN stations at 5:30 and 10 o'clock for all your local news and weather. Have an awesome day, Montana.